Donny Fandango from 105.7 The Point. Very happy to be joined by Dan Reynolds, frontman of Imagine Dragons. And Dan, we have a lot to talk about, but you are involved in one of my favorite life moments, and I have to tell you about it. And I've been wanting to tell you about it since it happened. It came up in my memories about 3 years ago this past weekend. And I had a chance to take, at that time, my 10-year-old daughter to see you guys live. My daughter's now 13, and some days are rough. And she's an amazing girl. But that day at your show, Dan, for the first time, I got to watch her get completely lost in a show. Her eyes were closed. She was singing the songs. She was completely unaware of anything else around her other than just being lost in the show. And as a music fan, as a father, as a person, it is one of my favorite memories of all time. And I thank you so much for being a part of that. I know you get to do that, you know, not just with me, but man, it's something that I look back on fondly and always, always, always will.
Thank you, man. Thanks for sharing that. That's, yeah, I miss shows. I miss looking out and seeing people do exactly that, you know, get lost in it. And that's what it's all about. I think the whole world needs music, you know, that's what unites us. So I love hearing stories like that. So thanks for sharing that.
Nah, man, not at all. So big things going on in the Imagine Dragons camp. The new album coming out September the 3rd. It's called Mercury Act 1. I want to know tell me about this album title. What does that mean? Or do we find out?
Oh, yeah. The meaning of the title, originally when I was playing around with ideas and thinking through it, I thought I'd call the album Mercurial, which is a word that basically means volatile or subject to dramatic changes, which is really indicative of the whole record and my state of being since I was a teenager. You know, I've dealt with a lot of mood swings and bipolar and depression and a lot of this record kind of delves into that. So there's a lot of high highs and low lows, and that's kind of, anybody who's close to me knows that that's kind of my point of existence. And it's just come to be something that I just accept, and it's who I am. But mercurial is quite a difficult word to just pronounce and say. And Mercury, the word Mercury, is derivative of that. So yeah, that's how we ended up on Mercury. And I just love the visuals. Visuals are so important to me as well. And just the visuals of Mercury and how reflective and cool it is and how much we can play around with that. That's kind of the process that led me there.
I'm very fascinated by songwriters just in general. It's something that I, have never been able to do. And, I find it to be just an unbelievable talent. But one of the things to me that is the most remarkable about it, Dan, is you're writing these songs that are so incredibly personal about these life experiences that are happening to you. And not only are you putting them into the song so that you have to sing about them, but then after the fact, you've got idiots like me that are asking you about these very super personal moments in your life that you have to kind of go back and talk about. To me, that would be extremely difficult to do on a semi-regular basis. How are you able to do that? Do you understand what I'm saying? It just seems like it would be bringing up these very sensitive and sometimes, hurtful memories, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's the life of touring times 10, because every night you're getting on that stage. It's one thing to talk about the songs and what they're about, but then it's another thing to perform them. And I am not able to perform a song without going to exactly where I was and how I felt when I wrote that song. So for instance, just to give you an example, when I was separated from my wife, which was a really difficult time for me, and I was in a super dark place, and this was just a few years back, we had a 7-month separation when I was touring Evolve, and every night I had to go on stage and sing multiple songs in the set that were about her and about our relationship. And it was excruciating for me. It was really difficult. I had to walk off stage so many nights and was very emotional. And the guys had to deal with that. But it was like, what do you do? Take the song off the set list, So yeah, talking about it, it's part of life. Like I enjoy talking. I enjoy talking with other people and understanding each other and stuff. But performing it is actually the more difficult part of that. Yeah.
Be darned. We have, man, in my entire life, I've been fascinated by Rick Rubin. I want to meet this man so much. I listen to the podcast. I still pay attention to the records and songs that he produces. And I've heard so many people say so many different things about Rick, but I read your Rolling Stone interview and you said that he really pushed you guys on this record, and you in particular, and he was very black and white. Hey, this is really good. Hey, this really stinks. Can you kind of talk about, Rick, what was your relationship with him before this process started? Was there one? And how do you trust somebody like that with your band? Even though it's Rick Rubin, that's still your band, Imagine Dragons.
I did not know Rick before this process. I was very familiar with his work. He'd done a lot of stuff that I really loved. So when we were talking about, hey, should we bring on a producer for this record, which was a big conversation to begin with, because we typically self-produce the majority of our music. His name kept coming up. So we thought, okay, well, let's just see if there's a connection there. So we got on a Skype call with him because it was during COVID, and had a lengthy call. And I really, really connected with him on a spiritual level, on a musical level, a personal level. Ended up sending him a bunch of songs. He listened to like basically 100 songs and gave feedback on every single one that was really spot on. And then we got into the studio. He just was, I mean, he's now as a friend and someone I really look up to. And it's, you know, it was just a perfect match. He reminds me of a lot of people in my life that I'm very close to who are kind of no bullshit, you know, just like say it how it is, not to be hurtful, but actually just to be helpful and to be a friend. And that's what a true friend does, you know. And Rick's very much like that in the studio, super hands-on. So the pictures that I feel like he has this persona of being like elusive on the couch.
Yeah.
2 words, 3 words. That was not the case here. He was on his feet. He was hands-on the entire process, still is continually talking with me about visuals and videos. And I mean, he's very invested.
Well, and it seems like too, Dan, in just listening to him and reading interviews and things as I have over the years, he is not, it doesn't seem like he's a guy that's resting on what he did. Like he is still trying to expand and do something different. And, you know, not only for himself, but also for the band as well. He seems like there's a continual cycle of pushing and not, again, resting on laurels there, which, you know, I think would be an easy thing to do if you've got that name.
Yeah, no, Rick is all about challenging the art, not for the sake of challenging it, but for the sake of it being exciting and fulfilling. Anything that we worked on, he only wanted to work on things that were exciting to him. He would use this word a lot where he'd just talk about things that are in the box. And he would just say, I like that song, but it's just boxy. Or I like that song, but it's, I feel like I've heard it, you know. And he's always looking to do something new, but he also is looking to create timeless, great songs. And that's wherein lies the magic, because I don't want to say it's easy, but it's you can definitely do something that sounds extreme. That, you know, anybody can do that. You can throw together some stuff and someone say, whoa, I've never heard anything like that, but I don't want to listen to that.
Right.
You know, and the magic is, wow, this is new to me, but this also, it's pleasant and I love it, or it makes me angry and I love it and I want to listen to it again. Like therein lies the magic of songwriting and crafting. So he's good at finding that delicate balance.
Yeah, you know, Dan, I'm very fascinated by you, the person as well. You're definitely a guy that wears your heart on your sleeve, and I am very much the same way. I love that. What you do with pride organizations, with LGBTQ youth, is really amazing work. You're just doing good things right now when the world really, really needs it. And I know, because I know you were working with K-Flay a while ago with LOVELOUD, which is your foundation, but is there anything else? What are you doing these days to help? Is there any project in particular that you're passionate about at this moment, or, you know, something in that vein that you're kind of working on?
Yeah. Oh, first of all, I appreciate that. You know, I'm always trying to evaluate how we can do more. We've been given so much. This band is massive. I never could have dreamt of being in a band like this. And with that, you know, you feel this constant weight of kind of wanting to do more. And it just comes with the territory of being given a lot. And so my primary focuses are pediatric cancer, which is just devastating to anybody who has gone through having a child, period, knows that having a child that gets hurt or has cancer is maybe the worst part of life. I can't think of anything that's more hellacious than that. So pediatric cancer is super important. The band started a foundation, the TRF Foundation, that raises funds, millions of dollars for these families who have a child who has cancer, and it goes directly to these families. And we have a gala every single year that we raise millions of dollars and then distribute to these families. That's a primary focus to me. And then the other focus is Love Loud, which is what you touched on, which is we're in the midst of planning a festival right now for next year to raise millions of dollars for our LGBTQ youth. It goes towards all these foundations. All the money raised goes towards foundations that do life-saving work. One of which is in Circle that I just, they're moving into my family house. I bought my home that I grew up in and donated it to them. And they're creating a safe space for LGBTQ youth in Las Vegas and providing therapy for these families that are primarily, a lot of them are religious based, and they just don't know how to deal with a child coming out to them. And so they tell them, hey, these are the things that we do. This is what will ensure your child has better statistics than they have had.
Man, you're really doing some good stuff, Dan. You're making the world better while making great music at the same time, and making the world better in a couple of different ways, I suppose. But I am just such a fan of you personally and the band, and I can't wait for you guys to get back out on the road and come to St. Louis so that we can see you again. But again, Dan, I just really appreciate it. We just added the song Wrecked yesterday, so we're going to start playing the heck out of that, as we have many other Imagine Dragons singles in the past, my friend. Thank you again for your time this morning.
Thanks for all the support, man. Hope to see you at a show with your kids soon.
Absolutely, Dan. Take care of yourself, man.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, later, man.